After Alver asks her to cooperate with him, Alon asks if he can ensure her children's safety. Alver remains silent so Alon gets that he cannot, and asks him to forget that they'd ever had this conversation. He asks if she's not afraid of the outcome if she does not comply. Of course, she knows that during the night training, she learned that in a hostage situation, they had to ensure that no harm would come to the Emperor, even if it meant sacrificing themselves. However, now she wants to live with her children. He tells her about the inauguration ceremony of the prince and the princess, which shocks Alon. Her head throbs after hearing the news, but decides to stay calm and assess the situation before taking action. Alver remembers the complaints of his companions about favoring Alon, so he is now determined to not hesitate any longer. Arisa reads the news about the inauguration ceremony and decides to go see the people who sent the news. Sarah tells her to calm down as they do not know who sent it, but Arisa refuses, because she's already under house arrest and surveillance by her brother. Nothing is going to change if she just sits and watches. The one who sent the news is going to pick her up early in the morning. Alvera comes to pick Arisa up in a hood and she thinks that his hand is warm, but gets herself back on track quickly. He takes them to a carriage and reveals his face, shocking both Arisa and Sarah because Sarah saw him at the detective agency, and Arisa saw him when she was young because he's a prince of a fallen kingdom. Arisa knows that he wants to take revenge and asks for his purpose in joining hands with her. Alvera tells her that they are planning to kill every Imperial family member, and since Arisa also has Imperial blood, she will ascend the throne and continue to help them. She agrees to act as a puppet only if they bring her the Emperor. Alvera says that it will not be possible, but she says that it does not matter even if the Emperor is insane and broken down, she just wants him. Alvera finds it funny that she is willing to go this far for him even though he is the one who eliminated her parents. Arisa does not care what he did and just wants to be by his side, so Alvera agrees. She further tells him that no one is going to believe them that she has the Imperial blood if they do not have solid proof, but Alvera shows her a document containing information about the Emperor and Leonhardt. Arisa is shocked after reading the document and thinks that her brother might also have had a hand in eliminating their parents, so she decides to help Alvera. Upon her return, Leonhardt asks where she has been because she was not allowed to leave the house. She answers that she was feeling cooped up, so she went for a walk, but Leonhardt does not buy her lie, and confines her in the East Tower while asking Sarah to follow him. He asks Sarah if she knows about the underground prison of the Imperial Palace, and says that if the Emperor finds out what Arisa did, she will be dragged to that prison. Therefore, he asks her to tell him everything because he wants to protect Arisa, and Sarah decides to tell him everything. The children prepare for the ceremony when Maleka arrives in a shadow assassin uniform, telling them she is originally a knight. The Emperor also arrives and the children hug him, telling them they are ready. The Emperor and the children walk together and the people around them comment positively. The Emperor tells them that they will do great because they are his and Alon's children, and the children also show motivation. The children walk into the hall after the Emperor, and the people there comment about their mother's status. The children remain steadfast and greet the Emperor formally, but he tells them to call him Dad, which shocks the audience. But Enril says that since this is a formal event, he will call them that when it's over. Marquise Rayon is thinking that the Emperor really cares about the children because he gave them a position where no one would harm them, when he finds Leonhardt looking angry and thinks that something must be wrong. The Emperor officially announces the children as the members of the Imperial family. Alana is worried about her injuries healing slowly, because at this rate she will end up being used by them. She even thinks about taking Alver as a hostage, but her current state cannot win against him. She wants to at least tell the Emperor about her situation and remembers that the Emperor can enter her dreams, and she lies down to sleep, thinking that she never imagined praying for him to show up in her dreams. Alver receives a message through a carrier pigeon from Arisa telling him to meet again, but he finds it strange because it is not possible for her to meet so easily under surveillance, and the security around the house crescent has become much tighter. He thinks that Leonhardt sent this message pretending to be Arisa and thinks that it is possible that they have been caught. Alver wants to meet Leonhardt if he can, but his assistant tells him it would be too dangerous. Alver says that since the message told them to decide the time and place, it means that Leonhardt wants to meet them in secret. Alver knows that this could be a part of a scheme, but he wants to take this gamble. Leonhardt visits Arisa and tells her that Sarah told him everything, but Arisa thinks that he must have done something to her because Sarah would never betray her. Leonhardt asks why she joined hands with such people, but Arisa asks him why she left their parents to die and pledged loyalty to the one who eliminated their parents. He tells her that she does not need to know, but Arisa wants to know because they were her parents as well. Leonhardt tells her that even if she knew, she would not be able to do anything about it. The two look at each other, and after some time, Leonhardt turns his face and apologizes. Arisa says that she does not want an empty apology. They really must be siblings because looking at him is like looking at herself. They both can do anything in order to get what they want. Leonhardt agrees that they are the same. He is returning after meeting her when a servant tells him that the carrier pigeon has returned. Leonhardt deduces that since it took such little time for it to return, it means they are hiding in the capital. He reads the letter and finds that they want to meet at a cabin located on a small mountain. He finds that they knew he sent the message because Arisa could never go to the mentioned location. This could be a trap, but he has no time to waste. He goes to the location with some knights and enters the cabin. Alver sits inside calmly, saying that they have an uninvited guest. Leonhardt asks if they are uninvited and why they let them in so easily. Alver tells him to sit and asks of his assistant to get them a cup of tea. Leonhardt asks to get down to business and asks if she should address him as the leader of the rebellion or the prince. Alver replies that his kingdom is gone, so he can just call him the leader of the rebellion, or just Alver. Alver guesses that he is not here for Arisa, so perhaps he wants to talk about restoring the power of the aristocratic party, because he can tell by their actions that they have grievances against the emperor. Leonhardt asks for his purpose to meet him face to face when he knew he was coming instead of Arisa. Alver tells him that they need the support of the aristocratic party, and the Crescents are the perfect people for this purpose. He says that they are the ones to kidnap Elan and plan to use her to lure the emperor. Leonhardt asks if they are sure that the emperor would fall for the trap and thinks that he is so pathetic that he has to use the person he loves to lure the emperor out. Alver notices his strange expressions when Leonhardt asks about Elan. Alver tells him that they're letting her rest, but Leonhardt says he wants to meet her. Alver tells him that it's impossible to bring her to their side, even though he is their friend, and tells them about how they met. He takes him to meet Elan because he considers Leonhardt as his ally. Leonhardt is surprised to know that they are hiding so close to the capital. Alver tells him that things will be complicated after he meets Elan, and Leonhardt also knows that she might attack him after knowing that he has joined hands with the rebels, but he cannot back down. Elan dreams of the Emperor, but he does not look at her or notice her presence. As the dream fades away, she shouts the Emperor's name and wakes up to find herself squeezing Leonhardt's arm. She gets startled and thinks that since she's feeling pain, it cannot be a dream. She says he must be there to save her and asks where the Emperor is. Leonhardt frowns and asks why she's asking about him. When she says that she wants to see the Emperor, he grabs her and asks if she finds him suspicious. Elan asks if he's joined the rebels, and he affirms, which shocks Elan. Her head throbs and she asks his reason to join the rebels, but he tells her to lie down because she looks pale. Leonhardt asks if she's happy to be bound by the Emperor against her will. Elan asks if he's trying to convince her to join the rebels. Leonhardt says that the Emperor is a tyrant who killed countless people for his goal. Elan tells him that the Emperor has changed, but Leonhardt says that he may be gentler for the time being, but it is all facade. He will use her and then abandon her like he did with his parents. Elan is shocked because she thought that their death was an accident, but Leonhardt tells her that the Emperor eliminated them because he's a cruel man. He asks if she's going to leave her children with him when they were the reason she was hiding. He tells her that he will protect her children, so she says she needs some time to think. She thinks that she does want her children to be safe, but after remembering her time with the Emperor, she does not want the Emperor to die. Leonhardt steps out and Alver asks how it went. Leonhardt says that she will think about it, but Alver says that he failed to convince her, so they would go with their original plan. Leonhardt says to give him one more chance at convincing her, and Alver agrees, for he once was friends with Elan. He says that he's going to use her as bait if she does not agree. Leonhardt warns him to not refer to her as bait. Alver thinks that it'd be best to team up with Arisa as well since she's easy to deal with, unlike Leonhardt. The children find themselves in front of books and Maleka tells them that this is the only basis for their lesson so far, and they will start more in-depth lessons at a later date. Leanne gets dizzy just from looking at the text, but she sparkles when Maleka tells her that they'll be having swordsmanship training after this lesson is over. When the children are asleep, the Emperor sits close to them and Maleka reports on their studies. Maleka worries that the Emperor is rushing their studies to make sure that the aristocrats do not look down on them, and the children can come to resent him for it in the future. The Emperor tells Maleka to take her leave, and he pats the children, thinking that he has taken many lives with these hands, and he has never regretted it until now. He thinks that Elan is in danger right now because he let a few of the enemies slip away. He decides to eradicate them all and get rid of the annoying aristocratic society. Leonhardt deduces that the Emperor is going to make the children his successors, so no one is going to dare touch them. He's keeping them safe so that even Leonhardt as the captain of the Knights cannot reach the children. It might mean that the Emperor is planning to get rid of the aristocratic society. A servant tells him that while he was away, Marquis Rayon's servant dropped by and said there was a person causing trouble at the outer palace. A shadow assassin also brings the news of the commotion to the Emperor, and the Emperor tells him to get rid of them. The shadow assassin tells him something, and the Emperor orders him to bring the person. The person in question takes a box out and throws it to the Emperor. The Emperor opens the box to find a cut finger inside of it. The person goes crazy and asks how he feels to see his loved one's finger chopped off. The Emperor orders to take the person and interrogate them. The Emperor thinks that he was shaken for a second, but the finger is too smooth to belong to someone who held a sword for a long time. Since it does not belong to Elan, it could be the rebels' warning that they could actually hurt Elan. He finds it funny that when the Empire fell in chaos, the kingdoms joined hands with the members of the imperial family who ran away and tried to conquer it. But once their own kingdom fell after their defeat, they blamed him for it. Leonhardt greets the Emperor and asks about the suspicious person. The Emperor tells him that he is the torture chamber, and when Leonhardt asks what happened, the Emperor tells him everything. Leonhardt is relieved to know that the finger did not belong to Elan and reports that they have searched everywhere but could not find Elan. The Emperor does not fully trust him, so he tells him that some shadow assassins are going to join the Knights to widen the search radius. Leonhardt reluctantly thanks the Emperor, but thinks he's keeping an eye on him, and it all could be according to Alvear's plan. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to know about our latest videos.